some Doom64 on. Yeah. Yeah, I know I talked about a lot of stuff yesterday, but man, there's just so much crap that people tell me. It's fucking hilarious.
These motherfuckers are shooting me. I gave you there. But what I was trying to say the other when I streamed first. That I need some value. And there was a pretty attractive looking girl in that, that I was talking to in that. She was she was I guess she was a clubber, I'm not 100% sure. She seemed like that she was just, or no, she went to I think she went to a bar or something like that. And she was with two guys. I mean, she had her friend with her too, but like she had two guys and that they're all dressed up in that or whatever it was and that. I'm just like, okay, whatever. And the funny thing is, there was like a vendetta type thing, like, cause like this girl was sitting there, like, this one guy was flirting around with this girl and that, and the other guy was trying to do the same thing too, but the other guy was trying to take the other girl away from the other guy because one of the girls there didn't really give a fuck. She was just sitting there like, yeah, I really don't care, like, at all. I was just here to have a good time. That you offered yourself to come here, and like, and that was it, kind of thing. And like, I was just sitting here, just listening to these people talk. I mean, they were there for like a couple hours. Like, these guys were just trying so hard to try to get these girls to come back. They want to go back. They want to go back to their place or something like that. Because I talked to them afterwards, and that was something else. And like, and then, well, at the end of it, one of the guys was getting massively upset because the other guy was talking to them and saying actual probably stuff about the other guy that they were with and that. But when guys are trying to get laid, it's normally like a default thing. It's like, oh, you're my friend and that, but when it's up for me getting something, I'm gonna leave your ass behind. So, you can just go home, bro. I'm gonna get these girls and all that bullshit. And like, it was priceless. Like, the other guy was staying really cool in that, and the other guy was like getting all like pissed off over stupid shit, like, and like, Well, I mean, they were probably you know hanging out together and talking at the bar or whatever for a little bit before this stuff happened. That and like, you know, and I was being you know legitimate and I was you know I mean they were good looking guys and that, but man they were just trying so fucking hard. They were trying stupid hard. And I'm just like, from a professional standpoint of how you talk to people and that, when you try too hard and aiming at what you're doing, if that person's not interested in you, and that might be up front, but if they're with like a wing girl or they're with someone that actually knows men quite well, I mean, they're gonna sit there and probably try to be like, oh, you know, like, nah, that dude be crazy. Because basically what happened is that these guys left and that these girls sat there for probably like 30 more minutes or so, if not more. And they were just talking about stuff that, so I intervened in that. I was talking to them. That's like, oh yeah, I heard about everything that happened. That I thought it was, you know, quite priceless. You know, the guy was just sitting there like being a big old dick in that. For no reason, you know, what happened, you know, I only heard a little bit of it, and she was all like, well, she was like, oh, you trying to say something about me, doing someone in that, and I'm like, why does it matter if you did someone or not? I mean, like, who cares? She's like, but I didn't. I'm like, okay. I mean, it's like, I get what people are saying when they say that stuff, and that because you know I get it too. When someone says something and they're like, "Well, you did it anyway," it's like that guy's the one that has peer pressure. That dude has you know issues, which means he's a control freak. He doesn't want to accept what is actually real. He wants to just believe in something that's completely false, which some men have that you know confidence issues with that stuff. And a lot has to do with, you know, ego and that. Bad ego, so to speak. And, like, to me, it was just priceless. You know, I was talking to her and that, and I didn't want to do too much, because I didn't get her name in that, I didn't get her number in that, you know. All I told her is, you know, if you want to come back in, probably at the same day or whatever it is. Or you could just ask people when I'm working that, you know. Because I had my little bumblebee cap on, which is obviously what I wear a lot at work. And that's why I do. It's easy to recognize me with having that cap on. If anyone honestly wants to know why I wear it all the time. Not, you want to be abnormal. You want to be a shine in the dark. You don't want to be like everybody else and wear a fucking baseball hat and wear it backwards and that or sideways or this dumbass fucking shit and walk around, you know, thinking that you're Mr. Coolio or the fuck it is. No, you wear stuff that is unidentifiable to anybody if they see you. Because then you don't have to get names. And that's what it is. I don't like to get first name basis because I'm not pushing towards like the first time I see someone by giving a name like, oh no, just come back in and talk to me because I work here. No, you can come back on the same day. Cause no, it was Saturday and I'm always there on Saturday. And then you can come in and you can just talk to me and see if anything goes anywhere. You know, I don't know what this person likes, you know. She wasn't really drunk, she was a little tipsy in that, but she was starting to break out of it a little bit. Really. I think in that she was pretty much done. Because she was in there for like 2.5 hours and that, so there's no way for her to actually be anywhere drunk. And like, she didn't really talk too much, but more or less listen, which is telling me that she likes to listen a little bit more instead of sitting there and talking. Like, her friend was more of a talker to a certain extent. Not fully, because some of the things she didn't really say much about. I was trying to get, like, communications with me. But see, that's what the problem is when you're when a man approaches a woman that with enormous amount of confidence, and they're just sitting there like just talking to her like they're like best friends and shit, it changes everything. Because to them they're just like, you know, how can this guy be so comfortable? And it's like, comfort has to do with yourself. I say specifically a lot of other things. It's like, I work here. I'm not massively rich, you know. I'm pretty broke, you know, for the most part, like most people are. You know. And you leave it with the little gestures that they can already kind of figure out a little bit. And then it goes with it. So you don't want to... People always want to try to be alpha males. They always want to throw down all this stuff and I'll make $1 million in the next couple of years, and they ain't gonna make fucking shit. Most of these guys ain't gonna do nothing. They sit there and talk out their fucking asses. Like, oh, I'm going to college now. I'm gonna become a doctor and that. Like, how you become a doctor? Yeah, become a doctor. You're never gonna be home. You could be able to see your damn woman. Why she gonna live a luxury life? What if she actually just wants to be with you and she doesn't care about luxuries of life? That's the main thing. No, it's just like when I see if I see two people that live in a trailer, they're more or less likely going to be more in love with each other than someone that's going to sit there living in a mansion with a man that's never home or a woman that's never home because they're too busy doing their career, and basically they only come home. What I mean by living in a trailer, I mean that they both work the same shifts, and they come home at the same time. They spend a lot of love together, and that's what it is. But when you get these guys to, oh, it's just all about the money now, well, what do you do with that money? You're just gonna buy things for her and not be home? He's gonna be like, oh, I'm gonna buy you something and that. I'm gonna buy you. You know what she's gonna do? She's gonna look for a man. Here's what anybody says. She's gonna look for a man. And she's gonna sit there and she's gonna find someone that's gonna give her what she wants, which is you know, the dick, the D, you know. And that's all it is. Now, especially if she's young and that, she's very fertile and that, she's always going to be horny as hell. Most times that horniness kind of stops if you have your first couple of kids. You kind of already been through that kind of thing. And not to say that you don't want it, it's just more or less likely you're just like, oh, you know, I gotta deal with the kids and that, you know. But like, that's why I say having kids is kind of like, you shouldn't have kids with someone that you're not married to, or that you at least have some form of like good relations with. What's happening nowadays, a lot of younger women aren't getting committed to before they do the sexual deed. The sexual deed is the whole point of committing. That's what drives a relationship forward, when you feel that consent. But when someone's walking around and not the city showing cleavage as being a slut, but wearing really provocative stuff is showing that you're easy and that anyone can be with you if they have the certain standards that you like. So you give up sexual orientation extremely fast, depending on the standard. So if I became a millionaire, or say if I made my first $100,000, which most people don't even have $10,000, and I sit there and I brag about it. It's like, yeah, it's like, you know, I made some pretty good money, you know, and that I saved up and the stocks were great and that blah 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 blah. I bet you some of the girls that were sitting there that say all kinds of dumbass shit, like, well, you don't have money, that you're not a real man, you live with your parents type of thing. Immediately I say I have more money than them, instantly, they might say some stupid ass shit, be like, well, you just got lucky, blah, 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 blah. But inside their mind, they're already thinking about, you know, getting with me. They're just gonna hide it because they lied about the stupid bullshit. And then all of a sudden, you know, they're fucking sitting there, like, they're admitting defeat by being like, in private, it's always in private too. In private, they're like, it's like I really did like you in that. It happens a lot. You can talk to a lot of people that do that stuff and that. You talk about a lot of guys that like drop a lot of weight and that. I mean, just me losing 10% of my body fat or whatever it is, I need to lose 100%. There'd be a enormous change. And the whole like sexual thing, obviously personality wouldn't change much. I feel more comfortable with myself. And like, it'd be an interesting thing. They did a pretty badass workout today. Did a lot of legs today. A lot of plank squats and a lot of, you know, squats all together. This shit made me tired as fuck. I was exhausted. And like, it was just very interesting. The conversations with me and that girl really swayed me that. Her eye contact was very heavy on me. And like I said before, a while back, before I got fired from fucking White Castles, this girl's eyes were glistening. They were very, you know, like, attentionated, so I have to say. Like, she was happy that I was talking. She was happy that I was interested in her. She was happy, you know, big smiles, you know, looking at me a lot, listening to me a lot, which means that she understands intelligent things. She's not a fucking idiot. She wasn't dressed like a hoe. She was dressed, you know, with style, but not with showing off tits and booty hole and all that crap and that like some of the girls do. So she was more proper. Because there was two girls there. There was there was multiple girls there. I just identified like how they dressed in that. So there was a girl there with a guy and that she dressed like straight up hoe. Her boobs were all pushed up, pushed together and that. You know, they were all flopping out and stuff. And she was claiming that she was intelligent. I'm like, okay, you know what? It's like, you talk intelligent, but you dress like a hoe. Okay, that's cool, you know, whatever. It's whatever you choose to do. You dress provocative. Mainly because she wasn't skinny. She had, you know, she was, you know, fat. So she had to use, you know, whatever that she had to pull in the guys, you know. Guys don't care about girls' success. I mean, the honest truth is, most men don't. I would never say all men are like that. But I like listening to success stories. The truth is, women, to a certain extent, when found a leader is masculinity, a very heavy masculinity. And this girl was like talking about a lot of stuff and that. And she had a little boyfriend with her or whatever it was and that, I'm assuming. I really don't even fucking know, honestly, but and like, God, this game's so fucking good. And I was talking to her and that, and when you get someone intelligent talking to someone else that's intelligent, you can see that they try to compare. But, you know, she was going to law school, and I had more knowledge about shit than she did. And it was funny, though. She's like, I'm going to law school, and I'm like, okay. So me and her talked about certain things today. I was talking to both of them, honestly. And we were talking about, you know, politics and all that stuff and that. And I brought some things that it's like, like people don't separate politician from the person. There could be good politicians, but they try to bring in the personal stuff. It ain't no different than being at a job. You separate the employee from the actual person. So if someone does act really weird in person, like me, for instance, the way I talk, but as an employee, I don't do this. I do it in a minor notion, unless it's something that really bothers me. But a lot of it is, unrelated effort. It doesn't matter because, it doesn't matter. And like, well, anyway, we're talking about politics and all that stuff and that, and I was saying, of course, people always fucking blame Trump for being racist and shit. I'm like, once again, completely driving this notion, racism. Like, the dude's 80. Racism was a thing back then because people weren't allegiant to people as much. As in, that's a very heavy term, allegiance, but people weren't, comfortable with being around certain people. Because if you're not around those people enough, you don't understand those, you culturally can be turned very easily by what? By the news. By whatever social media we had back then. When you hear the news, which news is pretty much was social media to a certain extent, because everything was on the news. And, so the news can say a bunch of stuff and that about certain communities of humans, and then all of a sudden, everyone's thinking the same thing. And this is why we had the issues that we had from back then. But the thing is, there was people that were slightly prejudiced, but they also respected each other when it went to work and that. And the funny thing is, I have to say this, and this is going to be a controversial type of thing. When I see a black person, I would say color, because not everyone is, actually black. They more can be light-skinned, color people, or whatever you want to say about them. And they don't care. They don't care. They're not trying to fix society because they already know. Because that's what happened at Denny's yesterday morning. We had two, they were trailer trash people who were very uneducated. Quote this, very uneducated. So education has a lot to do with why people act a certain way. Okay? And this person and his lady, or crackhead, or whatever the fuck it is, was sitting there and getting very antsy. At first, we had a couple, we have a couple, colored people in our restaurant and that. And none of them were doing anything wrong in that. And then we had some drunk or high ones come in. They still weren't doing anything wrong. They were just having a good time. There were 6 girls and that they just got out of the club and that they were just having a good time. So, normally when they get harassment and that, normally it's pretty easy to be like, yeah, you're just being, but then again, I don't care. My job is not to manage a bunch of fucking adult people. I'm not their fucking babysitters. They won't get all fucked up and act like an idiot. As long as they're somewhat respectful, which eventually they started to not be as loud and that, which was good. They started having more respect, which is beautiful. It's what you want. And there were six, colored girls or black girls in the back, next to the floor, in the back of the register and that. So they're by the front door and that. Or for the registers, my bad. And so the trashy white people, I'm gonna call them out for what they are. They were fucking trailer trash white people. And they were sitting there trying to act like they're brave. Now, at first, they weren't saying anything. At first, in that, you know, the wife was a crackhead in that, so the guy was trying to calm her down that, and like they were just sitting there getting agitated. Not at first. When they first got there, they weren't really massively agitated, I guess. But the wife or girlfriend, or, you know, cousin, or whatever the fuck you want to say, because, you know, never know any days. These days, you never know. And, like, she was very aggressive up front. I thought she was going to do something that, but the guy was going to start doing, because I honestly, to tell you the truth, and if anything would happen that, it'd be like, dude, you guys got to get the fuck out of here. Like, who she's being ignorant that. So you want to be assaulted? So by law, if I feel like, say, one of my employees, as an I'm employee too, gets assaulted, and I jump into action, and I throw your ass across the fucking room, and you got all these witnesses, and your man tries to threaten me or whatever, and I end up, which he probably wouldn't, because as soon as I say something, he'd be like, oh. A lot of times, intimidation's very easy. I just laugh. I don't say nothing. I let them cuss. Let them talk all the bullshit they want to talk. Until they touch. A lot of people say a lot of dumb shit because they're cowards and they speak a lot of bullshit. Like, okay, you can talk out your ass. That's cool. As long as you don't touch you on that, perfectly fine. I'm okay with that. I like to be like, oh my god, I'm gonna beat you up because you speak mean things. I don't fucking know you. I don't know nothing about you. I don't care. And so at the end of that, you know, the guys start being frustrated too. He's like, oh, I just want to pay for my stuff and get out of here and all that stuff. And you know, and she was just kept on chiming in. Eventually, like, basically, like, you know, like, he's like, bitch, shut up. You know, like, you're just being annoying. You just keep on talking. You know. And like, he was trying to act all tough and shit. And then he said the stupidest thing. I'm just like, it was the dumbest thing ever. He said, you know what? It's just because we're not the right color. I'm just like, what? I was like talking with him, like, what the fuck does that have to do with anything? We're just not the right color. I'm like, dude, this is not the city, you moron. This is the county. The only reason why they come here is we're the only ones open. And most of the people that come in there, I see the same people all the time. They're cool. They're legit. They're awesome. I don't get intimidated because I don't care. And like, it just blew my mind. It's like, you get intimidated, that's why you act like that. You get intimidated, so you have to swing your mighty, you know, stupidness around to try to get a reaction out of someone so you can sit there and complain and bitch and moan. I'm like, but one of the things that was wrong, I mean, I can't establish this person was another racist. I think he was prejudiced. The dude was quite old. I could see that he was probably prejudiced now because he wasn't really saying anything provocative towards, you know, the colored people around us. It was more or less like he said a racial minor slur, saying, you know, we're not the right color. And it's like, you were just angry and you were just reacting to the situation that you were at. But the situation was your fault because you're fucking stupid. So after all that jazz and this is before the two girls came with the two guys and that, this is basically when my day started to get interesting. And so I talked about it with my, you know, overnight waitress and that. And she says, someone should videotape that on TikTok and get them canceled. Like, no, don't do that. And I said, it's like, I can't say he was a racist because he didn't say anything provocative towards, you know, the color people that were there. He was saying it out loud as a statement to say, you guys just care about black people more. No, it had nothing to do with that, dude. You're all human beings. We're all brothers and sisters. We're all part of the same place we live at. We're all the same. We have different cultures. Guess it's just like politicals. You gotta separate the culture from the person. You take all the cultures away from any human being, we would all be survivalists. We'd all be wanting to survive, wanting to have our fun, wanting to do our stuff and that. And the culture's what's dividing how people think about each other. This is why religion was such a big thing back then, before narcotics became something of the communities around us. And so after all that stuff happened, that's when I started talking to grab me, dumbass. What are you doing? There it is. That's when I started talking to the other couple that it was a colored gentleman with a white lady, and I seen him there before multiple times. Super cool, super legit. And that's the one I was talking about, law and all that stuff and that. So I'm becoming a lawyer and all that stuff and that. And she said, we were talking about weed and all that stuff, and that's where I came up. We started talking about weed law and that, and I started talking about narcotics. I said, weed rots your brain out. It's like, it doesn't rot everyone's brain out. It's like, I smoke all day too. I'm like, yeah, it slows down the function of your brain. That's the whole point of it. Genetically, you can pick up different functions and maintain the flow of the chemical compound of weed and make it less potent for your brain. But that's genetics. Not everyone can do that. But anyone that smokes weed always denies it. It doesn't rot your brain out. Number one, you want to become a lawyer? Number two, you won't be able to smoke fucking weed because you can't get your fucking license if you're a fucking druggie. You have to do background checks. You have to do all kinds of stuff and that. They're gonna ask you that stuff and that. How much do you do it? And obviously, it's probably gonna be like, oh well, you can't be high when you're in court. It's like, you want to take a focus supplement. This is what I don't understand is you could do supplementation that I do because I have ADHD or I have ADD and that. They could supplement and make you more focused without, hemorrhaging, brain function by a lot. To where you like blank out and that, where you're just sitting there drooling or just not talking, like what happens to me sometimes. And like, so as the conversations went on, that we talk about politics and that's when I see you guys separate the politician from the person. I mean, this person was a lefty. She wasn't a far leftist, but she was in the partial thing of left. She was saying, when someone says Obama was our best president, I say Obama didn't really do much of anything. You can't name one thing that Obama did for the people other than kill a terrorist group that became a terrorist group because of politicals. Like, oh, he did a universal health care that was horrible for our country. It was horrible for everything. It was forcing people that pay taxes to do what? To pay for people that don't work. So you gotta pay for all the fucking losers and low-lifers that don't have jobs and give them money, which they do. They do the sort of things for what? For voter base. Supply the idiots that are voting for our stupid asses so we don't have to do much anything to get normal people to vote for us. And like, when you actually look at it, I say, all these politicians get together and that, people get together and talk about stuff and that. And I try to explain to people, like, you gotta look at it from how good it was when Trump was and how bad it is now when Biden's in. I don't give a fuck about who they are. I look at them as the president and as the president, period. Biden is a horrible president. I don't give a fuck if you're on the Democratic side or not. If you're a Democrat and you believe that he's a good president, then look back at Bill Clinton and identify how good it was when Bill Clinton was in. Compared to dick face. I mean, dumb face. I mean, potato head. I mean, it doesn't matter. He's a piece of shit. He's just a horrible fucking person. If you separate the president from the person, I don't give a shit what he does. I don't care a shit about how many kids he smells and that. I don't give a fuck about that. The only thing I care about is how good he's doing as a president. And this dude is fucking a whack job. They do this diversity hire crap. They hire a bunch of fucking morons that are just literally legitimately fucking dumb. Our press secretary is a moron. She has no idea what she's talking about. She never talks about anything true. She just makes up bullshit. A lot of times she makes up shit. And same thing go with the other side. Now, what was her name? Kayla McEnany was a really good press secretary. She actually named off the questions with answers, and like she gave specific answers, specific details, and that she didn't do like, well, we don't know. We're gonna circle back. We're gonna. So that's when you could know that they don't know anything. You know that they're not hired on for their actual intelligence. They're hired on like that Jane girl or whatever that was part of Biden's bullshit. Never talked about anything truthful. It's always like, we'll circle back, we'll talk about it later tonight. No. You are the White House press secretary. Your job is to answer the questions of the American people because that is your fucking job as the press secretary of that administration. If you cannot answer those things, then why do we have you there? Get out and get someone in that can answer actual questions. Because for people that make up excuses for these morons in office that have no idea what the fuck they're doing, you can instantly say, why things are happening is because of the bullshit that's happening in Ukraine or in other countries not. And it's becoming a nuisance. As a concerned citizen of my country, I want a better president. I don't want this president. He's geriatric. He doesn't speak. He doesn't do anything right. He says a bunch of mumble jumble bullshit. And people clap their fucking hands. Oh, legitimate. Because you're just as dumb as he is, I guess. Because the dude literally does make no sense at all. It's like saying, you know, I have to be part of that team because, you know, I'm part of no team. I'm part of what's right and wrong. And if you don't have enough proof and evidence, which is, you know, how law, like, stuff works, and guess what? I'm not going to believe you at all. Anyway, we're talking about all that stuff and that politics stuff. And, you know, they were trying to get into that stuff and that about, like, you know, talking about presidents and that. And I said, Bill Clinton and Trump were the best presidents we had in my lifetime. Period. If you want to deny it, then you can deny it all you want, but economically, they were the best presidents. The best. You fucktard. and like Bush, Obama, and Biden were like the worst fucking presidents that we ever had in my lifetime. Like Obama was like average, Bush was fucking horrible. Biden's just fucking potato head, dude. Like he's just a fucking moron. I don't know how the fuck he became president. Of a country that has the most power in the world, and now we're a bunch of pussies in that because we care about transgender bullshit, didn't care about actual enormous of the population that is not transgender, that's not gay, that's not. Care about the minority people, not care about the people that actually are paying their taxes and that, or that actually have the majority of the the stuff in our country. You care about very few when you got all these people. And it's just like, it intentionally blows my fucking mind. And it's just so stupid. They do this every single time there's an election cycle bullshit. And the only ones that do it are the Democrats. And I always say that because that's what they do. They've been caught with it. They've been noticed for that. And it's just like, why do you keep doing it? Because they know that normal people won't give into their bullshit. They have to give money to people to persuade communities to vote for them. And that's why we have such family problems, why reproduction has been down. That's why we don't have people making as many, marriages and that. They're getting more divorces than ever. They're pushing more levitations than ever. And, I don't think people really understand that the cycle is going down. Women should not be afraid to have children because that is your job, is to have children. If it's the choice you choose to make, but you're supposed to be put into that situation because that's how it normally should work. We're supposed to reproduce every generation to an extent. Not everyone does, but then the ones that don't do are the ones that end up pushing for better, child, learning lessons and laws and that to try to balance out the reproduction line. There's people still having kids, but they only have kids because they get paid to have kids. And who's paying for that? Our government does. And so that definitely was what we're talking about. That lady at work and that, one of the customers and that. And pretty much after all that, they weren't being ignorant and that, they were being really nice and that. And I was pulling out truths to say this and that. And one of the things is that happened is before all this stuff started happening, when I first got there, there was one lady who always comes in, and now she's an older lady and that. And she was reading a book and that about, she reads a book about fairy tale monsters and shit, witches, vampires, stuff like that. That's cool. So we started talking about stuff and that. And I brought up some stuff and that. And then she instantly stated this. This is how you know that people have issues at. She's like, you don't believe everything you hear on the news, but you believe everything you hear on the news. What you're trying to say is you don't believe the stuff that you hear on certain news, but you believe all the stuff you hear on your news. So, hypocritical, 100%. I don't believe any fucking news cycle unless there's enough evidence and proof to stigmatize that there's something going on. The whole Trump indictment was a farce. The court system itself, the lawyers themselves were saying we can't do nothing because there's no evidence, there's nothing. And they threw it out. So now, I would say left-wing media is now trying to amplify this stuff and say, well, this and that, over a fucking old, fat, slutty porn star that no one gives a shit about because she's not that attractive looking anymore. She looks like a fat balloon, and she's ugly as hell, and you want to say that she's, this and that. It's like, okay, whatever. She is who she is. I don't care about that. All I know is that She tried to sue Trump multiple times and lost all of her cases. And you want to say that she's trying to do it again and then nothing happens. Sounds like politically driven, right? Sounds like someone's paying her to keep doing this, and she's doing it because she's making money off of it. Doesn't matter how much money she loses, she'll make millions off of it. You know, and this is what happens, especially in America. You know, someone state this. Controversy kind of terminology. When we had women vote, when we pushed the right to vote for women, women don't vote logically as men do. Women vote emotionally based upon what they're told. This has been statistically, biologically proven that women follow by emotionals than more biological. Not all of them, but there's a huge percentage of them that do. This is why you start seeing a lot of males do the stuff like that, because you're starting to see that there's not tough enough stuff that males are supposed to go through. Males are supposed to be like soldiers. We're supposed to be tough, strong, smart, and knowing how the world is. To realize what the world is. Because it's a man's world. Men are the strongest. Most likely men are the ones that make most of the money. They own most of the big classy businesses and that. Because it's just how it is. We don't have periods. We don't give birth and that. We don't have emotional breakdowns as much. We're sturdy because we're supposed to be sturdy. It's not saying women can't do it. They can, but the biggest thing is they're not biologically put into that position like men are. You don't see a team of girls playing football or a team of girls sitting there being, construction workers. Normally you don't. Most likely you won't. They stick with beauty. They stick with what their role is intended to be. Beautiful, pretty, soft, sweet, loving, caring, nurturing. That is the role. So what's happening now you're getting that role is shifting a little bit. So now all the alpha males, all the males that are continuously doing what they want to do and that they push back against this and that, and they tell legitimate truth. And the funny thing is, I know I'm just bringing up random shit, but women, if they don't fall into their biological line, you're saying what they're actually born to do, because that biological works, you don't see the percentage of women leading, and how they lead is different from how men lead. I know this specifically because I work with women at my job, and some women, I don't think they lead as well as they should if that was a man's role. Oh my God, you're being critical, you're being this, you're being that, you're being this, you're being that. It's like, no, because emotions themselves are not in check. You do not think a way a logical person thinks about business. If you run out with emotions, you're always like get upset over really stupid shit. It could be something soft like say yes or no, and you get a big old tantrum. Yes, men do it. Then we're beta males. Stigma males and alpha males don't do that. I consider myself a stigma male. I'm a quiet guy in the background. I have my fun. I listen. I don't be too loud unless it's a conversation I really know of. An alpha male will be up front and say, hey, you're full of fucking shit. You shouldn't be doing that. That's stupid. It's not right. You're not making money by doing that. And I have this experience. When I work, so when I have all males working at my job, I'm a researcher, so you do blow out your ass. When I work with all males, it's smooth, it's easy, we have fun, we joke, we do stuff from that. We don't complain about nothing. We say stupid shit, we'll have fun. If it is a complaint, it's more like a joke and thing that we smooth it over. But the job gets done very easy, very smoothly. We don't care about all the bullshit drama because we don't put emotions into the workplace as much. But if I'm working with women, this is what I research, and I see that emotions are flinging everywhere, constantly dramatizing everything. Like, I don't care. What about this? What about that? If it's interesting enough and it's funny because it's joking, you're having fun. If it's just full on, just oh my god, I can't believe this and that. Like, over what? Like, for instance, we're gonna go down this row of scenarization. So I have a woman who sits there and complains about something that's not happy, not funny, not jokingly. It's pure, just like, just who cares kind of situation. And they're just complaining about something that's dumb because inside their mind, that I guess they're like, well, they should be doing that. Who tells you what to do? Well, me. Okay, leave it like that. You have to, I know younger society, especially if people are not around good role models, they always want to judge people because they're so hooked on what they want to do. But what they want to do is not reality. It's a fictional reality that's made up by the bullshit that's happening. And sometimes they're just traits. They're passed down. But learning is something you could do. You can learn anything. You might not be emotionally into that situation like you should be with, I guess, a normal person with a good, with a good psychological means. More or less likely, you're sitting there and you're thinking about it from your perspective. Because you see that your life's like this because, your mom might raise you a certain way, your daddy might raise you a certain way. And so you only know what they tell you. You only know what you see in that. So, if your mom's an alcoholic, more or less likely you're being an alcoholic. Your dad's an alcoholic, you must have been an alcoholic, or drugs, or whatever it is. Why I say mommy and daddy now? Because sometimes they're not always together. And you take those traits. And you think it's okay. You think it's fine. So more or less likely, the less educated you are, the less education that you can't learn because you don't know what education is because you just literally live in a big old cesspool of less education than the average bear or person, whatever it is. So like the trend, and with this person that me and this person were talking about certain things and that. Just having a conversation. I don't like getting into arguments and that. I speak my truth in that, and I speak however I need to speak it because I really don't care. It's like you're yelling, screaming at me. I was gonna be like, "You're an idiot. Go fuck yourself. I don't care." Or I'll just ignore you. You can't force You can't force a horse to drink water at a lake or a river or stream. You can only lead it to it. And the reality of that is you are the only one that can learn once you figure out how that is to learn. And so me and this person were having a conversation about the stuff and that, about the trends and all the stuff that are happening. And and she was a female. Well, she was a female, God forbid. Oh my God. No one cares about the acronyms anymore. And this person was sitting there and she was there. We talked about this stuff multiple times before. And I laid on the truth on her. I was saying, the reality that you want to live is not factual. Which means it's not going to work long term. You can establish something and confuse your mind and brainwash yourself to believe it's going to work. But it's not. Because tradition is what it is. I'm not saying having kids of that. I'm saying your emotional psyche always bounces back. No matter what you do, you always have in the back of your head. You can say it all day long. I should be this way. I should be that way. But when it comes to senses, you will instantly become, later on in life, which happens to a lot of people, that you'll fall in line and you'll do the things that is naturally meant for you to do. Could be having kids. It could be getting to a relationship without having it open. Which is one of the things that I talk about with this person. And I said, you may not look at it from that emotional standpoint, but other people do. So the more or less likely you have to respect the person that you're with, or you will be single for the rest of your life. And you're gonna be miserable. You're gonna be upset, and you're thinking, "I'm not gonna be miserable." That, but no, you are miserable because you're with someone. You're trying to get with other people now. You know, like the people look at sex as like, oh, sex is just, a dopamine rush. Sex is the whole point of relationships is to reproduce. That's why sex feels so good. It's meant for us to reproduce. We are supposed to do it. If it didn't feel good, reproduction would be non-existent. If it felt like you're getting stabbed in your balls all the damn time doing it, guess what? You would have nothing done. We'd all be dead. We have no reproduction at all besides the strong. The strong would be the ones reproducing because they can handle the pain. But sex is not like that. Sex feels great. It's a super huge stimulant. It's extremely healthy for you. And it bonds a relationship between two people very heavily. But when you don't look at it from that perspective, it drowns you in this bullshit of just getting massive dopamine rushes. And it's no different than so-called masturbating. And this is why there is problems. Because when people can't handle the emotional overload, so to speak, their partner or their lover or say their girlfriend or boyfriend is doing other things towards other men or women, psychologically breaks you down, means that you don't think that person is worth it anymore. Like once you cheat on someone, you're a cheater. To that person's eye, you're 100% cheater. Now, if it's like, say like if you're trying to get in a relationship with someone and someone catches your eye more, or say like complications happen in that and it's just emotions flying all over the place, nothing's connecting because that person might have it. Happened with me with one of the girls, I'll say your name. I mean, with one of the girls I talked to, her name was Gabby. Amazing, honestly, she was too good for me, and it would have been a better part of my life in that. It would make me feel better about myself and that and all that stuff. She was amazing looking, very beautiful and stuff and that, super funny and that, and honestly, she was just very busy. I was a attention-to little prick because I had nothing to do with my life. I wasn't streaming. I was working at Arby's. I had enormous amount of fucking anxiety, a huge amount of issues. Because inside my mind, I wanted to get attention, and now that I'm open-minded in that, I get attention a lot. I speak my mind. I smile with my beautiful little face. And guess what happens? I get you enormous amount of attention. So, that's it. I get enormous amount of attention. I get attention that I deserve for not getting it for so long throughout my life and that. And it was very tormentive. But I lowered down my emotions. I heightened my logic. I heightened my open-mindedness. And now, well, I'm a flat earther. I don't believe in round earth. And it opened my mind even more to do what? To research and study something that most people don't even want to look at anymore. So then I became more spiritual. And then I became more, I meditated more. I did more spiritual, stuff and that. And so overall, I became a better person. And then, bam, I am who I am today. Now it's just nothing but upgrading and upgrading and upgrading. Becoming better and better and better and better. And that's all it is. And this is always the problem with the younger generation. The younger generation, people follow in trends of stupidness. It's like, to be a leader is to understand that you have to do more than everybody else. To be someone that is going to be part of a legacy, you have to be better than everybody else around you. You have to be the one that has the bigger balls, the bigger everything, you know, as a man. And say that the woman that you have to be the one that's massively fucking confident. You're not gonna use your body to persuade just to persuade the opposite gender to do whatever you want, whatever it is. Because, you know, one thing that we talk about a lot, and everybody's talking about it, including myself, the way you dress, how you show yourself off as a woman, is very, very important. Because it doesn't take a lot, say, for a woman's body to persuade men. That's why you see a huge statistical trend going on. Like, there was one girl that just started a YouTube not that long ago. She made 4 videos showing off a little bit of boobs. 6K subs. 4 weeks ago. I've been doing this for almost 2 fucking years. And I'm not even reached 1,000 subs. And she's alright. She's an average looking woman. I mean, in their mind, like, oh my god, I'm 100%, you know, 10s. And that, no, you're not 10. Sorry, you're not 10. Because I'm not fucking 10. I'm like barely above average. The only reason why I'm a little bit above average is because I have a cute face. That's it. And until you start realizing that stuff. But the thing is, it's the beta males. It's the males that sit there and they're like, oh my god, every girl is beautiful because I'm horny all the time. You know, it's like, that's because you are a loser. You are a flat loser now. You're the one that gets cheated on all the damn time. Because you don't know how to control anything because you're a fucking loser. That's all it is. And this is why there's such a huge trait of, you know, women making easy money now off the beta males, off these loser ass guys. I wouldn't do that shit. Out of respect of me and how I live my life, I would never be giving anyone money that because of their bodies. Cause I'm not gonna get them. Am I gonna get your number? Am I gonna get close to you? No. So to me, the people that keep doing stuff like that, if you look at their relationships, they get cheated on more, they get disrespected more, they get fooled around with more. I know, because I know there's a guy at work that's going through it, and I hear his conversations all the time. He's like, well, she's doing this, she's doing that. Why are you with her? Because it makes my pee-pee hard. You're an idiot, so now you're dealing with all this emotional backlash. It ain't worth getting her. Ain't worth getting laid when you go through all this fucking bullshit to get that. You can find, and the guy's a good looking guy. He can easily, if he can learn how to flirt with women and be more open minded, he can walk up to a girl, give a smile. He's in good shape. He's skinny and that. He's a very beautiful man. He can easily get a girl. But he goes out with girls he used to know because I guess he doesn't have the confidence to talk to a normal woman that he sees. Like I do. I flirt with every damn girl I can. If you don't even like me, I'll still say a flirtatious act. I'll say, oh, hey, beautiful, you're looking good today. You know, if I don't get a smile or a reaction out of it, which normally I do, like 90% of the times I do. You know? And like, so like there's this one bossy girl that comes in, you know, and like I flirt around with her. She came in probably like, I don't know, she's DoorDasher, so she came in 10 times already, and I've always see her for most part when I'm working. And I see her and that I slowly get close. I slowly get to know her as she's coming in. I flirt around with her and that we have her little smiles and stuff like that. We're, you know, and she told me a little bit about herself and that, and like. She's playing with me, and I say, why do you keep playing with me? She's like, oh, because I can. It's like, don't be wasting my time, because, you know, I'm not going to sit here and be waiting. It's like, well, I don't need no man kind of thing. It's like, But the thing is, the way you're shaking your ass in front of my face saying that you want a man, so don't ever deny what you want just to try to persuade that you're trying to be more and thinking to yourself, I don't need anyone. But late at night when you're snuggled next to your teddy bear and that, or having that, having that little, having your little play toy with you and that, thinking about the dude that you want to get plowed by, don't deny that, because God forbid that you do. Because no one can resist a person that they're attracted to if they know they want to get with that guy. They know they want to get laid by that person. Because hormonally, you can't do it. You can hide it by saying bullshit lines like, oh, I'm just teasing you, play around with you. No, you want that satisfaction. You're just scared to get it because you might think it might be the outcome of that man being someone that you actually like. And this is for women that have children now, because when you go through psychologically, if you go through having birth and that, more or less likely, as a woman, that it feels like your job's done. You're not gonna feel like you're gonna have sex as much. That's a fucking lie, but whatever people want to say now. They feel more strongly and independent. Cool beans. I don't know anyone's situation. I can't say I give a fuck about the situation because I don't give a fuck about anybody's children, but my own children, because they're not my children, so I don't care. I care about them in the respect of how they learn and that, yes, but I'm not putting any emotions towards someone else's children that aren't mine. That's just plain and simple. And so me and her are talking that, smiling, all that stuff and that, And I asked for a number and I was like, oh, hey, blah, 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 can I get your number? That she's like, you don't even know my name. And you asked my name first. I'm like, but you know my name. All you have to do is give me your name. So she was playing games. And I'm like, okay. You ain't the only girl I can get. I got other girls, 100% that are just as pretty as you. She wasn't giving me an attitude. She was actually pretty cool, She wasn't a bitch. She was flirting with me. But guess what? I'm not going to play games. So next time you come in here, I'm giving, attention to another woman. And back her mind, she's like, oh, shit, he's not playing. And what happens? You become a chaser. You ain't going to say, but you're going to feel that emotions hit you right in the heart. You're going to be like, oh, I'm massively attracted to him now. More attracted to him than I've ever been, because it's becoming a competitiveness. Why is that girl like him? Ain't no different than why you liked me the first time. This is how it works. It works like this every damn time. I don't give in to the bullshit like beta males do. And I'm not loud like alpha males. Be like, oh, I make a lot of money and that. I got fancy cars and that, because I'm trying to be like... Dude, I'm the chill out person in the background, using what I have naturally to persuade people to get closer to me and then have them like me or fall in love with me or whatever it might be. Thing is, it's not the only girls. It's multiple women that I see. And I test little bits of stuff out. I'm a researcher in that. Everything is research purposes only. If I say I want to be with someone, I'll be full extension to be with them. So two girls at work. Obviously they have attraction towards me. They don't need to really say it out loud, but they show it through little means. I call it emotional outbursts. So it's just you give a little bit of attention, you're emotional outbursting towards that person that you want them to keep on thinking and keep on, or realizing that you're attracted to them. Because you don't want to lose attraction towards someone that you really want to be with, or say you really want to, get laid by or whatever it might be. You want to keep that attraction as high as possible. Just don't break the wall. Just kind of keep it at that tippy toe, finger length from the wall until something has happened, and you punch through it, and all of a sudden you're banging them or whatever it might be. And the males will know that too, because the males will realize that, because they'll feel it too. And then you get competitiveness with the males. But as a male, I don't go fuck whatever. I know where I stand. I know I don't have a lot of fucking damn money. I know I don't fucking drive. I'll tell you flat out, I'm not scared of it. I know the things about me that I do in that. I know I talk a lot, I'm an asshole. I talk about certain things that people are like, huh? But the biggest thing is, I'm up front. What happens when you're up front, they can decide if they like you or not. If you're not front and all the guys do that fake thing of, oh, look at me, I'm so cool and that I go to college or I'm gonna get a fancy job, make all this money. Inside their mind, they ain't doing shit. All they're thinking about is persuading that person to get laid. Or you could be a real man and actually be a man instead of being a little boy and give them the truth. Inside their minds, they're fixated on it. They're like, 100%, this dude's telling me all this stuff and that. He's being truthful with me and that about stuff. And he's upfront with himself. Then all of a sudden, what? Person tippy toes closer to you. Closer to you. Closer to you. And I state this to my overnight wage today because I was kind of talking about the psychological effects of that stuff. Guess what happened? I only pushed just a little bit, just to drive that person a little crazy, just a little bit, and they have to be the one. I said if I had 10 girls, I said 4, but it doesn't matter what number it is. I said if I had 10 girls, and I talked to them all the same way, just having a conversation. Just giving a little bit of, just a little bit of flirtatious act. Because, I'm a man, they're female, you're obviously going to flirt with them if you're attracted to them. I'm not talking to a girl I'm not attracted to in that way. In a full-on way. I'll be nice and be a little sweet in that, but I'm not going to be like, give out enough emotions to attach to that person. And I say the first one that gives me their number, I'm going to date. The first one that's going to be kind enough to be like, hey, I really like you, and that it's not even just the number. That's where it's like, oh, I like you, Nat. What's your name? Let's say their name first. Nat, what's your name? You're showing signs of interest. Until that happens, obviously, I'm not gonna feel that woman's gonna be confident enough to be in a relationship with, because you have to show me I gave you confidence. You gotta give me confidence back. Not this. Wait for me to say something. I said my part. That's it. I don't need to say anything else. I don't need to waste fucking time. You're not up and at 'em and say you want to get closer to me in that hour or so that I'm talking to you, even 10 minutes. You don't need to date me. You can just get my number now. We can just chit chat for a little bit. You can see how it is. If you're not going to do that, then guess what? You're not worth my time. Because that's what happened on Tuesday. I was supposed to hang out with the overnight waitress. And she bailed on it. That's massively disrespectful. She's the one that stated it. She's the one that said it. She's the one that wanted to do it. And she bounced back on it. So I'm like, I don't care. To me, you lied to me. Which is stupid as fuck. No matter how many excuses, like, I don't care about your excuses. I care that you lied to me. You were telling me something and you were doing something else. That means that you are a liar. More less likely, and you're a cheater. So to me, why would I want to be with someone that's going to walk out on me every time I turn around? I'm not babysitting your ass. As a woman being with a man, you're supposed to be loyal to that fucking man. If you don't want to be loyal, then don't bother wanting to be with me. Or with any other guy that wants loyalty. That's it. And women that have that kind of like disrespectful way of saying like, well, I'm not gonna be, your servant. That it's not about being a servant. It's about not being someone that's going to go out on someone else because you think it's right when it's obviously wrong. That's why we have the word called loyalty, respect, honor. These words have been throughout history biologically put inside of us as human beings to follow the laws of nature. It's embedded in us. We refuse it because we're culturally brainwashed by society to think a different way. But nature always comes true. Humans don't create nature. Nature creates nature. We try to go against the natural order, and guess what happens? You get a bunch of psychotic people that want to shoot up schools, that want to do all this stupid shit in that because they're going against the laws of nature. And then what happens? Nature backlashes. Either you go to prison or then people all get killed. Hey, I'm not the one that makes up the rules, YouTube. This is how it's been forever. I'm not resorting to violence or anything. All I have to say is this is how it works. It's never been changed, and it's slightly tried to be changed, and guess what happens? It falls right back on its face. Humanity's been trying to control nature for all this time, and guess what? It's not going to work. Our God, our Creator, wasn't dumb in how made our society, how it made our world, how nature was made. And people say the emotions of our world can change the fabric of how our nature works. Is it true or is it not? I believe it's true. The way I feel, everything around me feels better. The way I, vibe in that, which is emotional outlet of my soul, everything else around me feels a little bit better. People feel, say, if they don't feel comfortable around me, then fine about me, don't give a shit. But if you feel comfortable around me, which most people do, guess what? They're more happier. They're more joking, they're more loving, they're more caring, that because I'm the one that's staying in the lead of all that emotional roughage. I'm up here while everybody else is doing all this crap and that. And that's why I don't like dipping down too low. Like when I'm tired and that, I'll dip down to like a normal state of mind. And I start acting like emotional, I start throwing out a little more emotions. I'm more hornier. I get more excited than that about stuff than that. Normally, I'm pretty high on the emotional non-scale, and I'm just like, I kind of sit there. I try to be a little bit more logical. I try to let things go a little bit more because I don't want to. That's why getting a relationship is very difficult for me right now because I don't get into it. When I feel like someone likes me, I'll think about all the scenarializations of how life would be based upon how that person is. So for the beautiful blonde, I'm assuming that she was Bosnian. She was Bosnian. The way I was talking to her and how she was vibing, she liked me. It was very obvious. She was like a deep set eye or deep eyes, as in saying your emotional eyes. She was giving out a huge amount of like. She was looking at me. She was smiling at me. She was showing that she was attracted to me. And once I catch that signal, which it's a signal that women give out towards a man they're attracted to. Because the funny thing is, she wasn't talking over me. She was listening to me. And she was just like, oh, this guy's, this and that. Whatever might be that was going on in her head and that. And I caught it. And I said, don't like me too much because you don't know me well enough. And like giggle, laugh, and that, all stuff like that. I didn't ask for a name, I didn't ask for a number. I was establishing next time you come in, we can have a conversation. Just me and you, we'll just talk about stuff like that. And that. Because to pull close too fast, guess what happens? The sexual interaction's gonna be way fucking better. It's a waiting period. Your hormones rise as you get closer to the person that you're attracted to. If you give in too quickly, the sex is just the sexual it's good, but it's not as good if you get that slow approach. You build it up, and all of a sudden when you do it, it's full blown like 2 hours of smashing each other, and that you're all over the place, and that, and everyone's you busting their nuts all over the place or whatever it might be. And all of a sudden you're sweating, you're all in hyperventilation, you're breathing really heavy, because you're just blown away by like how great it feels. And I guess that builds up an enormous relationship level. And that's what it is. It's been proven because I did my own personal research on it. If I wait multiple days before I, masturbate or whatever it is. It's educational purposes, YouTube, because you got, a bunch of girls flopping out their boobies everywhere for baby stuff. And literally, they show snippets of full titties and that, which they do. And they sit there and they linger up for like 5 seconds so people can pause it and do their thing and be done with it. I noticed that because I watch it. So, It's not educational. They're using educational as a purpose to show full-on porn to make money. So stupid. And like, it's like, I hope this person does come back. That'd be nice. You know, I like talking that. I felt, you know, something with her that I don't normally feel, and she wasn't, you know, like I was saying, she wasn't wearing, you know, too much provocative clothes in that. You know, really, she was wearing just normal clothes in that. She looks good in that. She wasn't showing off any boobs or anything like that. So it means that her culture is not being a hoe, basically, so to speak. Her culture was, you know, very smooth in that. It was so attractive looking. I don't want to see your boobs up in my face right away. I want to be hidden from. I want to be like, how do you look? And the first thing that some women do is, because it happened to me a lot when I did online dating, that they go on camera, they show off their stuff on camera and that. But when they're in person, they're very shy and all this stuff and that. It's like, but you want to do it on camera. No, like, keep it hidden. If you want to impress a male that you really like in that, do not show your full naked body towards them until you're close enough to them. I know it's a trial thing to see if they like you. That normally, if you're right next to a guy and that, and you feeling fresh, and you're clean, all that good stuff and that, and you drop your fucking clothes and that guy's gonna be instantly attracted to you. Men are not that hard to get attracted to. They're pretty or to do their attraction. We're pretty easily. You know, you flop on a boob, we're instantly gonna be all over that stuff. It's just how men are. And like, and that's what happened to one of the girls in multiple girls online that, you know, they would show me like, you know, camera stuff and then being naked pictures and that. I'm like, it's not, to me, I don't fall in line with that because I don't feel, now I don't feel attracted to it. I don't feel like it's anything that's, you know, it's not, I can't say it's comfortable. I don't want that. I want you to come over, I want you to talk to me, and then, you know, make out with me and do what you call romantic approach. Not just, you know, oh, look at my boobs and that, and all of a sudden you're like, I'm horny, let's just do this. No, it doesn't work like that for me. It never will. It never did. I think I believe that the women nowadays don't understand that. They listen to their girlfriends, and their girlfriends are like, oh, you know, show me your body, that you're so hot, that he'll fall in love with you. That's not how love works. And that was one of the things that girl failed to do. That's what made it kind of like, it's like, look, don't I look pretty in that? I'm like, yeah, but that has nothing to do with anything. I want you to be you. I don't want you to be every girl's got tits and pussy. I want something that is more. I want you to talk to me and be like, oh, talk about my day and that. I don't mind that. So what would you like to do in that? And then, hey, do you want to come over? Do you want to talk to me? Do you want to get closer to me? Cool beans. And then you could be like, you know, all perverted or whatever the fuck that it is. Or your choice might be of that stuff. Right. That's why I don't look at women's Instagram and shit. They have an Instagram. And so they have a perverted Instagram that shows a lot of boobs and that. I don't see the whole point looking at it. Because to me, it doesn't fucking matter. I'm not here to be excited. I'm here to be more than just sexually stimulated. I want to be mentally stimulated. I want to trust. I want to love. I want to, you know, the simple things that most people don't even do anymore. and they do it, they're like, they forget about it. So that's one of the things that the girl I was talking to, it's one of the things that she did wrong. And they got to the point just like, I just want to talk to you now. You're bragging about all the stuff that you do. You're bragging about how good looking you are. You're bragging about all this stuff, and I'm like, I don't. And I'm like, oh, that's cool and that, The truth is, I don't care. I'm happy for you, but it's not going to make me like you more because I don't want that. I want you to talk to me. I want you to interact with me. I want attention. I want, semi, like communication, man. I look at what I have. I'm like, cool. I mean, obviously, I'm not, the Andrew Tate kind of thing in that, where he's like, saying like men don't care about how accomplished women are. I do care about this stuff because it means a lot to me as it means to them. Because accomplishing stuff is beautiful and great. Andrew Tate is, he's truthful in the biological standpoint, which he is. I'm not gonna lie about that at all. But when he says it from that perspective, what guys get stuff because of status and that, I'm like, I don't need fucking status. Well, you don't get laid because I choose not to get laid. I don't care. I want a relationship. I don't want to have my dick's bigger than your dick. I don't care. And out of the respect that you should be given to males that have this kind of mentality and that, God damn it. You should give that respect to that. No, I'm stuck. It don't work better. Yeah, you should give respect to that. Well, shit, I got stuck. And that's all it is. Damn it. I'll skip the next whole one, doesn't matter anyway. What was this? Let's go to the phone. And like, I agree with some of the things that these guys say in that, but I'm not an alpha male, so I really don't care as much. As I say, being a researcher is not about getting paid and that. It's about learning stuff that's new, trying to figure out things that should be figured out. And that's just the basics of it. Ooh, holy shit. I've been sleeping like all fucking damn day. I gotta get some water in that. But yeah, like if things were a little bit different than that, like fucking I had one girl. There's 3 girls in my life. There's one girl. There's 2 girls I screwed around with. Both very, very attractive looking. That most guys wouldn't even get close to putting, their ding dong in them. These girls are very nice looking. The perfect round boobs and the nice round asshole and stuff like that. And it would have been a 3rd one or even a 4th one, but I didn't do nothing with them. So, and that's when I started to realize the last couple of years, and I started realizing like I don't have any problem picking up women. But the thing is, I don't want to pick up a woman that I just want to just throw down right away. Because I'm not like that. I'm not the high five because I got laid. I don't care. yeah, I got laid today. I mean, if I got laid, I feel good. You know, if I get attracted to someone, my emotions will be higher than that. I'll feel more dopamine throughout the day in that because I have someone that I'm intrigued by, which is what happened just, Saturday, or it was this morning when I was talking to that girl, and that I felt true happiness. I was like, felt like we were falling for each other very heavily, and it was really nice. It was a great feeling. I don't feel it that much because, I don't realize it because I don't push that much because I'm scared I'm going to get hurt. And, like, that's a scary thing. I know I've been treated like crap multiple times before. Either I'm just used for sexual entertainment, or just, like, I'll try and then I'll get fired from jobs because of it. I'm not even joking. It's the last jobs I ever got fired because I was trying to flirt with a girl and that, and she was, semi flirt back, and she snapped because she's crazy and said and did some stupid stuff. I'm like, okay, well, it's like, it's like it's time for you girls, it's time for you young ladies to grow up, because the people that you date are beta males. You don't go for high class males with actual intelligence. You go for weak ass males that are emotionally eradicated. And you're trying to pick up their pieces by being a mother towards them. I don't want you to be my mother. I want you to be my woman. I want you to come over. I want you to look good for me, establishing that you like me and vice versa with you. I'm going to look good for you. If another woman comes up to me, I want you to be like, that's my man. You can try, but he probably won't do nothing with you. And then you get competitiveness. And I'd be like, no. Same thing. If a man approached my woman and I go up to her, it's like, yeah. It's like, I'm a boyfriend with her. Oh, she's a boyfriend? I'm like, yeah. You want to try to get with her? I'm like, can I? I mean, it ain't up to me, it's up to her. You ain't trying to get with me, bro. You're trying to get with her. Have at it. Because she's my woman, but I don't control how she. If she's loyal enough, she won't do nothing at all. She'll tell the guy off and say, you ain't manly enough to be with me anyway because you're a bitch. And then walk away. The guy will be like, oh my God, I can't believe she said that. But inside his mind, he's staring at that big fat ass I heard. You're like, man, I wish I could get that. That guy was so confident. I can't believe he said that. Yeah. And what happens is that woman's going to be, or my woman's going to be close to me now. Because that was trust. You got to give it to be able to receive it. Period. Respect, trust, loyalty, honor, all this stuff. You got to give it to be able to receive it. This is what you do. You give out a truth about yourself and you receive it. I mean, people talk about that, but as long as they speak the actual truth about what that person said, there's no foul, there's no harm because that person said to you. They ain't say, oh, you can't tell anyone else. I said, you just talk about me based upon me. As I talk about you based upon you. When you lie and say stupid shit that's bullshit, guess what? I'm going to call you out for it because it's stupid. Now, obviously, I'm not upfront with people, no. Because it hurts their little feelings. If they're already saying that, obviously they're emotionally impaired. They have to lie about their life and that because their lives fucking suck. That's up to you, man. I'll say it's stupid and bullshit, laugh in your face. You're already going to get the concept of it. And then you're going to be quiet, and then you're going to be like... It happens at work. Quite a bit. It happens with, one of the guys that work on that. You can tell a beta male from an alpha male from a stigma male. I can be alpha when I need to. Most times I stay stigma. So most likely, when a beta male approaches a guy that has more confidence in them, or say a guy that has less confidence about themselves, the guy has more confidence, that's why we call them beta males. You start to see it. Now, not all aspects of their lives are that sort of way. Only certain aspects of their lives are like that. I can't say everyone. A male can be alpha when they need to, when they're emotionally up in that emotional range, when they get angry, and that they'll establish a front. Most times, people try to stay away from that stuff because no one wants to be upfront about stuff that has nothing to do with them. Especially if it's something just stupid, like if someone says something that you just ignore them. Now, if it's an action taken, then it's action taken. But we do on a realistic standard. This is for the younger generation of males and females out there. You do an unrealistic standard of like how you live your life. People that don't believe in stupid bullshit are gonna catch you on it, and it's normally the person either you're attracted to or a person you're trying to get closer to, and they're gonna not like you. They're gonna be like, you're a liar, and you're always gonna be a liar, which leads to cheating, stealing, all these other things. Not saying they're gonna happen, but that's normally what happens to a certain extent. Or you just stay a liar. I don't want anyone to lie to me. I don't want anyone to say one thing and do another thing. I want you to say what you're gonna fucking do, and either come out and say, "Oh, I'm not gonna be coming over and that," or "I'm not gonna do this with you and that." Then fine. But if you're gonna say, "I'm gonna do something with you," you establish it, and then you're like, "I'm not gonna do nothing with you." How am I supposed to trust you or like you or even get close to you? I'm not. That's stupid. To me, that's just flat out ignorant. So I call out all the girls that there was, multiple girls that there was a younger lady in that. She was a black lady in that, very attractive looking. She's a very pretty woman in that. She was young. She's barely 20. And I do the same thing with all the girls. Most of these girls are always younger than me anyway, so I do the same thing. Like, if you come back and you want to talk to me and I say you want to get to know me next, you're interested in me, then by all means do it. That's cool. Sometimes I don't have much time in that, and and sometimes I do. If I'm sitting down, then you come in that. You say hi, and you get closer, you want to talk to me, communicate with me, then I say we'll go on a brief date, so to speak. We'll talk, get to know each other. The problem is, if I have multiple women, I say lined up, and they all come in at once, I can't do nothing. You have to be the one to approach me. If you're the one that approaches me, that signals confidence, and then I'll roll with it. But if you don't approach me and there's a whole bunch of girls, they're all looking at each other and that, because they know that they're looking at me and they can just sense that they like the same guy, the one with the most confidence is going to be the one that's going to be checking in. Now I'll go up to each one of them just to say, I'll say, hi, how you doing? It's nice to see you again. As soon as I say, it's nice to see you again, you're putting a very semi-flirtatious word in there, nice to see you, which is giving out emotional attention towards that person, towards that woman. Other women that might be attracted to you are going to instantly signal that you like that person. Either they're going to get frustrated or they're going to sit there and be like, why are you not talking to me? And then that special person I talked to first goes like, oh my God, you're giving me attention. That it works like a charm, dude. It's like, that's all you have to say. And then if I go up to the other girl and then I say that stuff, guess what happens? The other girl I just said it to, be like, oh, you're giving her attention? It seems like that you like her too. Then you get competitiveness. When women fight over men, one's going to be the leader of that. One's going to be pushing more towards it and say, I got what he wants. I got what he likes. He's going to go for me. That shows signs of confidence. And some women are like, well, that's stupid. Then why would you do that? Because being a man, I want you to find that woman that's going to stand out more than all the women that I talk to. Period. So I want that person to be like, I'll be your woman. I'll honor you and trust you and be loyal to you. And vice versa, the same thing happens back. Simple facts. But if you don't want to take that standpoint because you're like, my boobs aren't big enough, my butt's not Kim Kardashian size, because inside your mind you might think that. Inside my mind, I don't give a shit about that. But the funny thing is, when women have big breasts and big butts and that, and they think I can get any man I want because of the luxury of what I look like, and they try to attract a man like me, I will deny it right off the bat. Like, oh, it's like, don't you like the way I look? Like, yeah, your boobs are huge now. So, well, my boobs are big because you said the boobs are big. You must like it. I'm like, yeah, I like the boobs and that, but that's not what brings the full attraction. It never does. There's like the one boys girl I was talking to that she's DoorDasher and that. I was talking and that. Everything was smooth. We were flirting that. It was pretty cool in that. We were both stimulating hormones towards each other and that, which we're starting to get, happy. As soon as she left and that, she started shaking her hips and that a little bit more and that, which is signaling me to say that she's attracted to me. She's just playing me along, trying to act like she's the one on top. I'm sorry. That's not how it works. You could do that, but your time limit's so long. Eventually, I'm just gonna be attracted to you like that. I won't. I don't care. I don't care. I don't see the point being, oh my god, I have to do all the things this woman says because she likes me. There's like thousands of women out there, dude. I'm like, one man that's confident enough it can attract 100 women. You do not need to be based upon one woman. That's too much effort. And if that person doesn't feel exactly how you want it, and it goes towards females too, females can attract thousands of men. But that one man's going to be the man they're going to be like, he's that man that I want. Why? Because he's not fake, which is what happened this morning with the girls that came from the bar and that with those two other guys and that. The dudes were fake as fuck. They were doing all the silver tongue and all that stuff and that. And these girls knew. They were very upfront with it. They're like, yeah, okay. And the one guy that was having some women issues in that, so he got some mommy issues in that, he was arguing with this woman that he was trying to get with. And his friend was just sitting there like shaking his head like, what the fuck, dude? Why are you arguing with her? This basically like, this woman should be, she should like me because I am who I am. I'm like, but she doesn't know you. Inside her mind, she was just sitting there like, this dude's fucking crazy. Because she was confident. It's like, this dude's a control freak. He'll probably beat me and all that stuff and that. The red flags were all over the place. Same way I approached her. I was being sweet. I was being romantic. I was joking with both of them and that about the stuff that I say. I was laughing on the inside. I was laughing out loud. I was playing my game and I tried not to bust out laughing that with just stupid stuff and that. The dude was approaching you being super heavy, getting arguments with you and that about stupid shit. And the guy was saying like, oh, you were, intimate with some guy or whatever. I don't know who it was. Some guy that they were talking to at first. And I'm like, because you went to the bathroom when he went to the bathroom. I'm like, what? Like, in your mind, you think there was a glory hole there in a fucking bar? Most bars will have glory holes because this ain't trashy bars. She's like, yeah, you were doing this, doing that. And she denied it. She's like, no, I didn't do anything with that guy. It's like, and he's just like, yeah, I know you did. I'm like, you don't know her, dude. Like, why does it matter? You're already establishing this person's your woman when obviously she's not. I've been down that road before. It's a tough road to go down sometimes. I ain't gonna lie, it's a little rough. You gotta learn. And oh man, that's amazing. Whoops. So you just gotta learn to roll with the punches. I'm probably gonna get on another game here in a little bit just to bring in some more people. Maybe I'll get some killing floor or something. And like, it was just hilarious. I was sitting there like, oh my god, for real. And the one thing that kind of pissed them off in that was when I was talking to them, and he came in, he saw it. It's very obvious he started getting jealous because they kept looking over at them when they were talking that. And it was the most hilarious thing. I was sitting there like, I was like chuckling and shit, like oh my god, for real. Anyway, I had just my water right back. get me something to eat. Well, I think I'm gonna switch up games now. Cause I'm getting bored of this shit. I don't know if I want to play Outsider or play Resident Evil 4 again. I do like Resident Evil 4. I'm getting so bored of it. I played it too damn much. I got the original one too. I got the original one too. I do like Outrider. I just want to play Outrider. Fuck it. Let's play Outrider.